Made Fresh, 96.7 The Beat. Terry J and Jazzy T with you. Got some special guests in the studio with us. So, Jazzy, I'm going to let you pass along and do the honors.
Okay, now, you know I'm country as hell. So when it comes to these French words, it can get a little tricky. So I'm going to try it out. We have the owners, the co-founder, the founder, and the COO in the building of Noir
King.
King.
There we go. I got you.
Now, this, before I'm not done with the introduction. This is the first and only Black-owned cognac. Am I correct?
Founded by a Black woman.
Founded by a Black woman.
She
said it softly.
You got to say it proudly, please.
So there are a few others out there here and there, but it's the first one founded by an African-American woman.
Wow, that's amazing.
And could you please let everybody know your name, please?
Hello, I'm Michelle D'Agostino. I'm the creator and founder of Noir King Cognac, VSOP.
What's going on, everyone? My name is John Gillett. I'm the COO of Noir King Cognac.
And I'm Monye Shell. I'm the co-founder and president of Noir King Cognac.
So I have to ask you, this is cognac. And what inspired you to create and have this elegant looking bottle that's in front of me? What caused this moment to say, I want to do this?
That's the number one question I get. So first of all, I just grew up with it. It's very familiar with me. So all of my family, friends, every function, it was always the brown alcohol.
Absolutely.
So it was Hennessy and Cavassier and even the throwback to E&J and Christian Brothers.
Talk about it.
Eric and Jerk. And so it's just so funny because with all of my uncles, my cousins, I'm the oldest girl. I had all older cousins, an older brother. So I was a tomboy. I grew up with the guys. I hung out with them and played dominoes and, drank and hung out and all of that. So it was just it was always present in my family. So it was very familiar when I wanted to get into the industry. I started looking around at different spirits, started with vodka, never drank it, wasn't interested in it,
right.
didn't hold my, interest. It wasn't familiar. So then I ended up with cognac and I fell in love with it. And so then Noir King Cognac just came to be.
Okay, and I got to ask the question. For those, when do you drink cognac? When's the proper time to drink cognac? Is there a proper time? And what can be coupled with the cognac?
So cognac to me is, it's almost like a celebratory drink that you have with your friends, you have with your family. If you're just relaxing, chilling with your girl, your boys, you can pair it with food, you can pair it with dessert, but also with cigars. Cigars and cognac go hand in hand.
All right. Now.
And cognac is not just a type of liquor you can just get in the United States. You have to go to France. So I'm guessing you went to France. And
Yes.
How was that going, especially being a Black woman, entering into France and saying, hey, I want to start a cognac drink? Like, what was that experience like?
Well, I was very fortunate in the sense that I didn't know how hard this industry was going to be when I first started. Mm-hmm. So I was so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to create it. I just thought, hey, I'll do this brand and it's going to be great. And I remember creating it at home in my home office on my computer and didn't even realize that I had to go to Cognac to get it. I really thought, you just go and you buy bulk liquid and
Cognac's a place?
Cognac France.
Cognac France.
I mean, I just want to
I'm going to need you to get cultured. I'm going to need you to get cultured.
Slow down now. I just was like, wait, shit.
It's okay,
Go
it's
to
okay.
Cognac. I was like,
Cognac,
I just want to,
yeah.
for those who don't know, Cognac is the place.
Cognac France is where it comes from, and it's very similar to champagne and sparkling wine in that if it's not grown in the specific cognac region, which is very heavily regulated, you can't call it cognac. It'd be brandy. So it's like if those grape varietals aren't grown in Champagne, France, you have to call it sparkling wine. So I reached out to someone online one day and I realized that he was in the industry and I said, hey, I have this idea. And he said, that sounds great. Why don't you come over and I'll introduce you to my colleagues and my clients. Now, I didn't know this person and he didn't know me.
Wow.
But it just so happened to work out that he believed in what we were doing, what I was doing at the time. And I had a dream and he supported it. So I went over there and spent a week. Met our master blender, Mr. Philippe Bristad-Tefan. He is an artisan, as you will soon learn when you taste it. And he's been in the industry over 30 years. We went over there not knowing anyone. We didn't speak the language. It was just Manya and I. that was fun, right?
How was it going to France and not knowing the native language?
So we had our project manager, this, guy that wanted to help us out, Seabay, who I initially reached out to. So he translated everything. He took us all around the region. We were able to meet with all the vendors and suppliers and be able to sit in the showrooms and decide what bottles we wanted and what components, the label, tops, all of that. So it just worked out beautifully. And it was quite an interesting journey. I look back on it now and I'm like, we must have been crazy to go over there.
Nobody.
We didn't know anyone. We didn't know the language, but I was just so laser focused on, I know that I can make this happen. And so they embraced it. When we were there, they told us we're the number one consumers. African Americans are the number one consumers of cognac in the world. And it's true.
Very true.
And so, they told us they would do anything that we needed them to do because they knew that the project would sell, it would be very successful. And I believe they wanted to be a part of it, plus the historic component of being the first. So let's talk about how I ended up becoming the first woman to start a
Yes,
cognac.
please.
So a funny thing happened on the way to making history. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea that I would end up being the first Black woman to start a cognac anywhere in the world. And I didn't set out to do that.
Anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. And I didn't set out to do that. And that's what's so funny about the story and the journey, because 5 years ago, I was back home in California and I just had an idea that I wanted to do it. And so what happened was I reached out online. I just started, I went to Google University. I just started looking up everything, devouring everything. I said, I'm going to find a mentor. That's how this started. I'll just find a Black lady who started a cognac and I'll ask her for helping to mentor me. What do I have to lose, right?
And then you realized once you went to Google University that you were the first enrollee.
Right. So there wasn't one. And so I thought, I wasn't deterred or discouraged. I just thought, how come there hasn't been? And we're the number one consumers, and you pass a Cavassier and the Thug Passion and all of that. I'm dating myself here.
No,
but
trust me, I'm right there with you. I know all those.
But you know how cognac is so prevalent, not just in our culture, but even in the language and in the music. And so I couldn't believe that there wasn't one, and it just really made me more determined to do it. So I met Monnier. He believed in it. He was the very first person. Actually, I relocated from California to Atlanta to launch the brand. I didn't know anyone, no friends, no family, just packed up my truck.
Why did you come here? What was the purpose of you coming here?
Because, there's two reasons why I came. The first is because my mom, God rest her soul, love you, Mom, my sister was living here, and I had never been. I'm a native Californian, born and raised. And so my mom would come here to visit my sister and her husband, and she would come back talking about all these stories about how magical Atlanta was, and she was going to relocate here, she was going to move here, and I thought, what's so great about Atlanta? And I'm like, it's California, Mom, you're never going to leave. We have the beach, the sun, are you crazy?
Exactly.
And so I just, I always remembered her stories about Atlanta. So, after she was gone, and I said, I think I might be able to step out and do something different with my life. I think there's more than just Sacramento, California, where I was born and raised. And so I started looking around. I said, I can start anywhere. So I looked at New York, I looked at Texas, and I looked at Atlanta, and I contacted everyone that I could think of, like in economic development offices and things like that. And the first person who really responded and said, I'll do it, we'll roll out the red. Well, it was more so, we'll welcome you. Atlanta will welcome you, and your project was a lady by the name of Elena. I can't say her last name, I'm gonna butcher it, but she's with Invest Atlanta.
Okay.
And that's how I ended up here with the brand.
Wow.
She just said, come here and we'll help you, and now we're here.
So let's talk about the success of Noir King. And for those who don't know what noir means black.
In French.
In French, it means Black King. But let's talk about the success of the product. Where is it being placed, and what's coming up for the brand?
So I'm going to let John here, he has been very instrumental and key in opening up the majority of our accounts, and he's out there boots on the ground like literally every day. So, and there's some very exciting things happening. I'll let him talk about Atlanta, and then we'll talk about Houston.
Pretty much right now, we're in about 100 plus locations in Atlanta. You can find us on, I'm gonna just name a couple places. Harold's on Old National, the Pizza Bar, Camp Creek, Old Lady Gang, Camp Creek, TGI Fridays, Camp Creek, Camp Creek Road to Beverage, Camp Creek Liquors. We just got to deal with Hooters. So we're gonna be rolling out, the first Hooters is gonna be in Noonan, Georgia. Followed by, we got other Hooters. Like I said, tons of liquor stores around Atlanta. We're in Augusta, we're in Albany, we're in Macon.
So we popping, we moving right now.
So we really popping. So
How many total?
right now total, I lost count. It's 100 something.
Wow.
I lost count.
100 plus.
100
Go to
plus, but that's in
plus.
less than like 3.5 months.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
100
That's
plus
amazing. That's
locations.
great. And so, talk to us. You said something about Houston. What's going on with Houston?
So we have some partners in Houston, and I guess I'm going to challenge Atlanta. They want to give Atlanta a run for their money.
Oh, talk to us now.
Yeah, so Houston is extremely excited about the rollout of the brand. It's probably going to be the first state that we open up with the direct distribution here in Georgia. Atlanta's home. It'll always be. I came here to launch it, and it's done very well, and we've been embraced. I'm very grateful for that. But we have direct placement in 4 states, so Florida, New York, New Jersey, California are up on our list for rapid expansion. But Houston, Texas, I spent a few days there. They want me to come back for a week, and yeah, they're talking about putting up some pretty big numbers out there.
Houston's about the drink life too, as well.
Yeah.
They're all about the celebrations. Well, that is amazing, and Atlanta, we got to hold it down. If you are, a happy hour, we got to, especially in the Camp Creek area, because I know the Camp Creek area sounds like it's on and popping. So I know my Camp Creek people, we got to show support, and we have to get this drink throughout all the other places as well. And definitely, we thank you guys for coming, stop by.
We can't let them go without tasting it.
Oh, absolutely.
They need to see our face when we taste it.
Oh,
It is. So I was
popping
talking
bottles?
to one of our partners, and we've been saying it's a beautiful liquid. He goes, we should
We have to
trademark that. And I said, yeah, I think we will. So I think you'll enjoy it.
So the new trademark is
It's a beautiful liquid.
it's a beautiful
that's a beautiful
liquid.
liquid. All
Beautiful
right.
liquid.
That's
All right,
it. Let's pop these bottles.
We got to work.